Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy, a production of flagandbanner.com. Through storytelling and conversational interviews, this weekly radio show offers listeners firsthand insight into starting and running a business, the ups and downs of risk-taking, and the commonalities of successful people. Connect with Kerry through her candid, often funny, and informative weekly blog, where you'll read and can comment on life as wife, mother, daughter, and entrepreneur. And now it's time for Kerry McCoy to get all up in your business.
I'm Kerry McCoy, and like Tim said, it's time for me to get up in your business. For the next hour, my guests, DeAnna Korte and Steve Bentley, organizers of Riverfest in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, and I will be getting up in the business of organizational skills, volunteerism, and leadership attributes. We'll be telling Riverfest stories, answering questions, giving advice to want-to-be performers, volunteers, sponsors, and attendees via phone and email. Though I am not a super volunteer like my guests, I confess, I am a self-taught in leadership knowledge. I started my company, Arkansas Flag and Banner, over 40 years ago. During the last 4 decades, Arkansas Flag and Banner has grown and morphed from door-to-door sales to telemarketing to mail order and catalog sales, and now relies heavily on the internet. Each change in sales strategy required a change in the company thinking and procedures. My confidence, leadership knowledge, and my company grew. My initial $400 investment now produces nearly $4 million in annual sales. Each week on this show, you'll hear candid conversations between me and my guests about real-world experiences on a variety of businesses and topics that I hope you'll find interesting. Running a business or organization is like so many things. It takes persistence, perseverance, and patience. I worked part-time jobs for 9 years before Arkansas Flag and Banner grew enough to support just me. And one of those jobs was with you, Steve Bentley.
Yes, it was.
It's now grown and expanded so much that to operate efficiently, we require, are you ready? A purchasing, manufacturing, graphic, shipping, technology, accounting, marketing, sales, and customer service department, plus a retail store. 25 people or more make their living from working at Arkansas Flag and Banner. I hope you'll take advantage of this unique opportunity today to ask questions or share your experience by calling or emailing me and my guests on today's show. Before we start, I want to introduce the people at the table. We have Tim Bowen, our technician, who'll be taking your calls and pushing the buttons. Say hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
My guests today are Riverfest Executive Director DeAnna
Korte. You said it right the first time.
Korte?
Yes.
Okay. It could be Korte.
Yes.
You know, I grew up with Beth Korte.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. No relation, though.
No.
Right? Yeah.
Didn't believe so.
Mm-hmm. And with the Riverfest past chairman for the past 2 years, Steve Bentley, who I worked one of my part-time jobs with at Sirloin's Inn, both lifelong volunteers in our community. Steve not only volunteers for Riverfest, but has been on the Carti Foundation Board since 2002 and the Red Cross Board since 1988. His real job is a manager for Acosta Sales in North Little Rock.
Yes, yeah, but don't tell anybody.
And he's been there since 1980. I know. DeAnna Korte has been the executive director for Riverfest since 2004. There she manages a $2.8 million budget and leads a team of 250 volunteers. Sounds like a nightmare. With only 1 full-time and 2 part-time employees assisting her.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. She is past president and the first female president of the Booster Club for Catholic High School for Boys. She is a graduate of Leadership Greater Little Rock Class of 22. And I think you are currently on the Downtown Little Rock Partnership Board.
I am.
Okay. Welcome to the table, super volunteers and community leaders, Steve Bentley and DeAnna Korte.
Thank you. We're thrilled to be here.
Yes, absolutely.
Steve, after reading your bio and seeing the longevity of your job and community commitments, it lends me to think you're an incredibly loyal person. I bet you've been married like 40 years or something?
I've been married 30 years. Yeah, it's been a...
And DeAnna,
He's a very loyal person.
and you're a successfully married woman, too, with children, but y'all are not married to each other.
We are not.
How did y'all first two meet?
I was asked to be on the board 9 years ago, and came to my first board meeting. I didn't know anybody, but it takes about a year or two, and then I fell in love with Riverfest. And then DeAnna and I have become very close friends and trusted friends. I'm just amazed at what she can do by herself, and we'll get into that but more.
Sweet.
But yeah, very, very good friends.
How did you know to ask him to come to Riverfest, or did he just show up at your door one day?
Well, obviously, we have a nominating committee that suggests people from the community that they feel would bring strengths to our board of directors. And obviously, Steve, being a long-term community volunteer, was a perfect candidate. And then, not knowing him, but knowing him now, have been so fortunate to have him because he's so passionate. When he gets involved with something, he jumps in, feet first, and his passion just shines through. So I feel very lucky to call him a friend, but I've been very lucky to have him as a coworker, as on the board. He's just been a great support.
What is the passion about with Riverfest? Is it a passion for music, passion for community, passion for bringing people to Little Rock? What's the passion that drives Riverfest?
I'll answer first part of it. I think my love is music. That's what kind of got me interested in it. But then once you get involved with Riverfest, you realize that it's this committee of like 250 people that have been doing this, some of them for 40 years. They take their vacation time off. They're just so dedicated. No matter what part of Riverfest they're in, they think it's the most important part. And you don't get in their business either because they take ownership.
It really is. That's what's kept me motivated. This will be my 20th year working with the organization. I was a volunteer the year prior to that. And, even now, we work such long hours. I'm exhausted. But the committee, that volunteer planning committee, really, truly is what keeps me motivated because I see the love and the passion and the hard work they put into it. And it makes me want to work harder for them because, having a small staff, this is not about me. This is about that committee and then the community volunteers that come together that weekend to make this thing successful every year. That's what keeps me coming back and makes my passion for it so strong is just to see the hard work, because it's not like some things. Everything that we volunteer for is important, but I think people don't realize the behind the scenes at an event the size of ours, what goes on. It's not a 2-hour dinner somewhere. I mean, it is 10 days of setup and a year's, just like anything, a year of planning. But that 10 days is a hard push, and as we've grown, it's become work. I mean, it is, so that they're giving up a lot of their personal time to do this, and it's a labor of love for them. And so again, that makes me feel very fortunate and proud to have held the job I've got.
So you have volunteers that have been there 40 years?
Yeah.
Steve, when you started, did you think you were like, because you're in sales and you're in marketing, did you think, I'm going to go down there and start networking and find opportunities? Or did you think this is going to be good for my self-esteem? Or do you think this is going to be educational for me to learn something?
Well, I was a little naive. I thought, hey, maybe we can pull, Paul McCartney in here or something, but I didn't realize how expensive all that stuff was. But I learned a lot about the expense of putting on the event. And then, of course, I met a lot of people I didn't know. And there's people all over. It's Bryant, Conway, North Little Rock. I mean, it's a community effort. One thing we didn't mention, too, is that the help we get from the CBC and from the Little Rock Police Department and from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
I mean,
they have volunteers that come.
Believe it or not, some of Parks and Recreation do volunteer through the weekend. Just like Steve said, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, obviously we're a big tourism draw. Their support, we couldn't do it without them. City of Little Rock, there's just so many partners, the sponsors, and being a nonprofit, all those, everyone has to come together to make this thing work. And so, it's quite the undertaking.
When did Riverfest start, and what was its original idea behind it? Wasn't it the Junior League or something?
It was. It started
in
the first. It was called the Summer Arts Festival, and it took place in September of 1977. The Junior League, the Philadelphia Wind Symphony, was coming down a barge down the Arkansas River, and the Junior League thought, well, let's put a little festival around this and make an event out of it. And so they did, and it was hugely successful. So they said, well, let's keep this going. And the next year they changed the date to Memorial Day weekend, changed the name to Riverfest, and here we are 40 years later.
When did they give it over?
They really, about 2 years later, we became our own 501c3 nonprofit, but they maintained the primary volunteer support until 1996 was their last full year of it being volunteer driven by the league. And then in 1997, they hired a new executive director, Van Tilbury. They kind of stepped out to start creating other projects because that's what they do. But they still have a seat on our board. We still have 2 positions on our planning committee that are appointed through the junior league, and still have many volunteers that come through.
Did you come from the junior league?
I did not. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I didn't grow up here. I came here about 23 years ago from Oklahoma City and was just a mom. It was a stay-at-home mom with my kids. And when they got into my youngest got into kindergarten, someone on the planning committee said, "There's a part-time job answering phones 9 to 2. Would you like to do it 3 days a week?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll get out and do this." And literally, that was 20 years ago, and am still there. Hard to believe, but it just does. It gets in your blood, and like I said, the passion of watching those people. And for a year, that first year, I sat in our operations center at the old Excelsior watching these committee members come in just sweaty and dirty and hot, but smiles on their faces, blisters on their feet, but you could just see they loved what they were doing. They loved giving back. And it just got in me that it's like, if I'm getting paid to be here, they're doing here out of the goodness of their heart. And it just gets in your system.
What, Steve?
Well, I went to the first Riverfest in 1977. And
You did?
Yes, I did. It was at Murray Park, and it was nothing like it is today. But for trivia question, who was our first, our major attraction band for that?
Black Oak, Arkansas.
No.
Oh.
Greasy Greens.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I love them. All right. This is a great place to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with DeAnna and Steve about the Riverfest entertainment lineup, about how you can get tickets, be a sponsor, be a vendor, volunteer, or perform at next year's show, and the economic impact of Riverfest on Little Rock and our state. You're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy on KABF Radio. My guest, DeAnna Korte, and the Executive Director of Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, and past President Steve Bentley. If you've got questions or comments from my guests or me, this is your chance. You can call.
The number is 501-433-0088.
Or you can send an email. I'll get my computer over here, and you can send an email too.
Email is questions@upyourbusiness.org.
And that's questions with an S. And I'm tweeting, so you can tweet me a question if you want to at Ask Kerry McCoy. And we're using the hashtag ShareWisdom.
Listen to all UIYB past and present interviews by going to flagandbanner.com and clicking on Radio Show. Also, by joining our email list and liking us on Facebook, you'll get a reminder notification the day of the show with a sneak peek of that day's guest. Back to you, Kerry.
You're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. I'm speaking today with DeAnna Korte, Executive Director of Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, and the past president for the last 2 years, Steve Bentley. Let's talk about the entertainment this year. Who was that we just heard? And they're coming.
That's our headliner Friday night, Cage the Elephant, on the Arkansas Federal Credit Union Sweetwater stage. And over on the Frio Light stage, we're going to have country artist Billy Currington will be headlining over there. Opening Friday night before Cage is John Bellion, and we've got Group Love. And then over before Billy Currington, we've got Dylan Scott, we've got Colt Ford, and that's Friday nights. And then we get into Saturday, and our headline acts, we've got on the amphitheater stage, we're going to have The Joy Formidable, Moon Taxi, Cold War Kids, and of course Wiz Khalifa. And then over on the Frio Light stage at the Clinton Library, we've got, we start out with Cody Canada and The Departed, which if you are a cross-Canadian ragweed fan, that's Cody Canada. And then we've got Craig Campbell, we've got Cody Jinks, who if you are a Chris Stapleton fan, who we had last year, a lot of people like that type of, I don't know if it's quite country music, but Cody Jinks will be opening for headliner and Arkansas native Justin Moore. And then, and then over on Saturday, which is our throwback day, our 40th anniversary day, we've got lots of great local acts. And then we have Amasa Hines headlining on the amphitheater stage on Sunday, our 40th anniversary. And then on the Frio Light stage, we've got, of course, More Stay in the Time, which is a huge fan favorite. We'll close out Sunday with the First Security fireworks. But we'll talk a little bit about Sunday's activities, because that day is free if you have a Riverfest ticket. If not, it's only $5. We're throwing it back. So for those people that, the tickets prices have gotten too high, well, we're taking it back to how Riverfest used to be, $5 to come in.
Is that the day Morse time's there?
That's the day Morse Day.
That's
the
the
time
only
is there.
one I knew.
Well, that the day that the local acts are playing, an act that played at Dreamland is going to be playing.
Oh, yes.
The Wildflower Review.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the Wildflower Review. And another one, the one I sent you that I said...
Oh, yeah, the Bluegrass Band.
Runaway Planet.
Runaway Planet. They also played at
Yes,
Dreamland.
We've got... trying to think who else. Here come the Mummies.
I saw them about a year ago. They are fantastic. They come up all dressed up like mummies, and they've got a horn section that's just.
Are you talking about Runaway
fantastic.
Planet?
No, this is
who are
here, these
Here
are called
come the Mummies.
Yeah.
Oh, Here Come the Mummies. They've got a theater show act.
It's
They come in
quite
costume.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
In the June heat, it ought to be
Now,
interesting.
when's the Mummies playing?
They are playing before Amasa Hines on the
Saturday
amphitheater
night.
stage Sunday night. Sunday night.
Well, Sunday night's the best night to come, it sounds like. to
Listen,
me.
it's going to be great. We've got Barry Thomas is our festival artist this year. He'll be painting live to auction off a print. So if you know Barry Thomas, he's a local artist, phenomenal artist, and he'll be painting live on Sunday in honor of our 40th anniversary.
And he did the painting for your poster that you gave me when you got here. They came. I want listeners to know they came bearing gifts. Nobody ever does that for me. Thank y'all very much. And
You're
the
very
poster
welcome.
is fabulous that he painted.
He did a beautiful job. So you'll get to come and on Sunday again, $5, folks, and watch him paint for free. We are going to try to break the Guinness Book World Record on Sunday for the most sparklers lit at one time.
Are you going to have those big sparklers?
Prior to the fireworks, the Rutledge family will light the last sparkler to shoot off the fireworks as we head into number 41 next year.
You know what sparklers I'm talking about, those ones they have at weddings that are huge.
These are about 38 inches in length.
Oh, my gosh. You're going to have some hair on fire on there.
One thing is about our fireworks, I think every year it's the best firework display in the state of Arkansas.
Absolutely.
And,
It's the biggest festival in the state of Arkansas.
It is. And it's, amazing. 40 years is a long time to sustain.
I'm so proud. So how do you go about booking acts? Do you have a theme when you start off? When do you have a budget? How early do you start?
it's how much money we have.
We budget in August, and then we have a booking agent out of Birmingham, Alabama. And then for our local regional acts, we actually use Chris King that owns Stickies and Rev Room here in Little Rock. And we just kind of start with a wish list. And then, like Steve said, where money's concerned, we get knocked down pretty quickly when we start finding out the cost. But we try to be as eclectic as we can. But the booking side of things is interesting. And I don't think it's what people think. It's not about, I want this act so I can get this act. It has to do with routing, who's out on the road, and being a set weekend and needing someone on a specific day makes that challenge even harder. But we just start with a budget and we start working our way down. And it's quite the undertaking.
Well, Little Rock is pretty centrally located for entertainers to be coming through, like from Dallas to Memphis or Dallas to St. Louis.
Definitely when they're traveling on the road, we catch a lot of those. It's difficult for fly dates, just because flying into Little Rock Regional, it's tough sometimes. So that can play into it as well, depending on where they are. But we're real excited about our lineup this year. I think.
How many do you have? Sounded like you counted 25.
Number wise, maybe when you add in the local regional in there, headliners about 14 that we would consider headliners. And if you look, we made the change last year and split into two events. We have Springfest now, that's the first weekend in April, and that's more our family-oriented free event, and then changing Riverfest into more about the music and a music festival. And so doing that, the idea is to try and get more current acts, and we're real excited. I mean, some of our headline acts are playing at Bonnaroo. They've just played at Memphis in May. Governor's Ball, which is a huge music festival in New York City, they're playing there the same weekend. And if you look at their ticket prices, they're over, $500, $1,000 for some of these, depending on what level you buy. You can come to Riverfest and see all these acts for $40 right now. I mean, it's a great bargain, and people ask all the time, they're like, is that $40 to get in the gate, and then do I pay another price to actually see the concert? It's like, that's everything. That's all 3 days.
One point I'd like to make as well is DeAnna has done a great job of getting some of these artists right before they hit it big. I mean, like Miranda Lambert and last year, Chris Stapleton and
ex-ambassadors. I mean, we've been fortunate. I mean, I don't know that it's sure not me. It's just we've got a good booking agent that makes some good suggestions, and
gotcha.
then I've got a little bit of a feel from the country music side of things. Michael Marion teases me. He'll call and from Verizon Arena. He'll call and say, "What do you think about this one?" But we've been lucky. Florida Georgia Line was probably the biggest one that we've hit the nail. And Chris Stapleton last year was not a bad pick. We were looking at him. It took us a little while to get him confirmed, but that's probably one of the biggest acts that we've had as far as current.
Another thing that happens too is we'll have people signed up and then they'll have to drop out because they join a tour, and that's happened to us in the last couple of years. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet. So you decided to split your Riverfest into 2 festivals. I did hear that. And was this your first year to do that?
Last year was 2016.
Are you just a glutton for punishment?
Well, everyone asks, is it harder to have 2?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's harder. It's a little bit more time consuming from just some of the detail things, but it's really, I don't think it's any harder. It's just 2 different, to me, it's adding one more day just for, 8 weeks earlier.
But you probably are in sales. Don't you probably go out and find sponsors and a lot of your business is selling?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I never thought when I took this job we'd gone through a couple of directors, and when the last one was left in December, we didn't have sponsorship raised and we didn't have acts booked. And that was really the only 2 things that I hadn't had my hands on. And so I went to the board and said, I don't know that I can do this. I've never sold anything in my life, but give me a shot. You're not happy, I'll go back to doing what I'm doing because I love the event. And so I 6 months, got the money raised, and I guess did okay. And so that was in 2004, and here I am. But you've got to get out, and because again, I don't think people understand the financial, being a nonprofit, really the only money we have coming in the door prior to the event is the sponsorships that we raise. And so
you're rolling the dice.
We're so fortunate that we have had such a wonderful, wonderful support from all, not just local sponsors, but obviously as we're becoming more regionally and nationally known, we're garnering people coming in from out of state and paying sponsorship.
How many people do you think come into the Little Rock downtown area from out of state?
Well, actually, last year we sold tickets in 35 states. This year, I have not looked at it in about a month, but we were up to 28 states about a month ago that have purchased tickets, people from around the country purchasing tickets to come in.
Do you think it's your acts, or do you think it's Little Rock, or you think it's...
I think it's the entertainment. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, we had someone about 5 years ago, we had Dierks Bentley, was actually out with Miranda Lambert on tour, and he was going to be our headliner. And they were in Washington, D.C., finishing their floors at home. They were going to be out of town when Miranda and Dierks were in town. So they just got on the web and started Googling where they were going to be, and we popped up. And so they kind of waited and watched as our lineup developed, and then said, well, we've never been to Little Rock, Arkansas, or that part of the country. So they bought tickets and flew in. And ironically, I just ran into them and met them. They came to our Thursday night wine event, and I visited with them all weekend long. And then when they got back home, they sent the most lovely email, not just about us, but about the city of Little Rock and about, the police and the volunteers and just how friendly and that southern hospitality. And so, I think that gets lost sometimes as well.
Who was it that did this?
It was a couple from Washington, D.C., just following an act that they liked. So I do think that the music is what's bringing them in, but I think it gets lost on people, not only that we're a nonprofit, but that really our whole mission is to get people into this city and to create and stay and create economic impact. I mean, that's really why we do what we do.
That is the goal of the...
Yes.
Don't think people realize how wonderful Little Rock is till they come here.
I agree.
And I wish you would keep that quiet.
Yeah. Well, we have the river trail there. The downtown is beautiful, and it's just, the Arkansas River is gorgeous.
Let's say that I am a band and I want to audition for next year's festival. Mm-hmm. Do what I call the guy at Sticky Fingers? Would I come to you?
You can. We normally on our website under where the lineup and the festival entertainment is, it's down now, but this summer we'll put up a link and you can send in a promotional kit. Now everything is electronic, so most of them will just email them straight to Chris and submit them. And then once we start getting our national puzzle put together, then Chris comes in behind and starts filling in with the local and regional acts.
The Riverfest weekend, what is probably the most challenging thing during the actual 3-day event?
I'll answer that. I think the opening evening, when everybody starts coming in through the gates, it's been different every year. I mean, there's always one gate that's messed up, but once we get everybody in, it starts rolling. But I think the opening is always exciting.
Yeah, especially when it's a Friday night. Last year we did Saturday, Sunday, so opening was a little bit smoother, but it is because people get off work and they're ready to get down there and they're ready to get inside. So it is a little chaotic, but we get them in there. And but it's always things that, and I can't even think of anything right off the top of my head that you wouldn't think of. It's always the behind the scene things. I'm proud that as an attendee, you probably wouldn't notice any of the things that are driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we have a disaster plan too in place. Everybody's trained. We had weather a couple of years ago, and we went into our weather alarm system and went perfect. And with everybody,
that's good to know.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
They shut the place down. You have we tried to do it 10 minutes before the storm hits, and it went great.
The stages probably have professionals hired to manage those.
They do. We have
lights.
They do. Yeah, we have a production company that comes in. We've gotten so big that we've got several companies that come in to help run it.
Each stage probably
absolutely.
has their
Yes,
own.
they do. Yes, they
and
do.
then the vendors, they buy in and manage their own.
They do. We have about
tent.
30 food vendors and then about 40 art and craft merchants. And then, of course, we have sponsors that are on site with different exhibits. Johnsonville Brats is coming back this year. That's always a crowd favorite. Oak Lawn Gaming, which is our presenting sponsor this year, they come in. They've got a big interactive exhibit on site. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot to do, but the big thing is listening to all the great music that's been booked.
So, Steve, what are you going to do this year?
Well, I'm not going to be quite as in deep as I am, but I'm involved in our Thursday night event called Flowing on the River. That's kind of a private party. We have beer and wine tasting,
And that's where the
it's
sponsors come.
Yeah, everybody can come. It's open.
We sell tickets to the public.
Where do you buy tickets
You can buy them at the door. If you wait and get them at the door, they're $40, or you can buy them online now. They're $30.
Oh,
and it is.
And that's for the every day?
This is for Flowing on the River. So this is the wine event, wine and craft beer tasting. Chuy's restaurant provides a full dinner, and so we've got hundreds of different wine labels and craft beers for tasting. It's a lovely event. Free Verse will be the entertainment that on Thursday, and it's Thursday, June 4th. Then Riverfest, the music festival, is June 2nd and 3rd, and those tickets are available online for $40 now, or you can go to any Murphy USA or Murphy Express around the state, and they have tickets available as well. There's a big outcry for retail tickets. And then, like I said, Sunday's free or $5.
Murphy's, is that a convenience store?
It is. It's a gas station. You'll see them at there's some Murphy USA's at Walmart's, but then now they're becoming freestanding. There's one at Chenal and Markham out there by Target.
And they're cheaper if you buy them online now.
Yes.
And are they cheaper if you buy them at Murphy?
Murphy, yes. If you wait to get them at the gate, they're going to be $55.
So for $40, you get to come Friday and Saturday night, and then for an extra $5, you get to come.
No.
Well, if you buy the tickets right now, the Riverfest tickets, Sunday is free, folks.
Oh, I get you.
So that's the bonus day. If you don't want to come Friday, Saturday, like you said, you weren't familiar with some of the bands, but you do want to come down on Sunday to see Morris Day, think about that. $5 to see Morris Day. $5 to see Amasa Hines. I mean,
yeah, that's really crazy.
You can't go to a local establishment and see them.
No,
for that.
It'd be $15
exactly.
at Sticky Fingers.
Easy.
What's not called Sticky Fingers? Is it called
Stickies?
It's still Stickies. Okay. So before we go to break,
yes,
tell me, there's got to have been some shocking episode in the last 20 years, some great story that you've got to tell us.
I don't know that they're radio appropriate.
Yeah.
Mine aren't.
This is from last year. I was on Channel 7 that morning early, and I see these four young people. I could tell they'd been up all night long, and they had put all their keys and all their phones in a sack and lost it. Just went back to their car and slept all night in the car. Well, the next morning when we opened up, in our lost and found we had right there, I've never seen four people more happy, and they said, we're coming back tonight.
Yeah.
I bet they were asleep.
Yeah. Oh, yes. My stories, I said at some point I'll write a coffee table book that probably won't be appropriate for the coffee table, but yeah, there's some stories.
Those are the best ones.
They are.
Come on, just give us a little one.
I'll have to think on that.
Well, one thing about it is she's had a couple of festivals. We had to have to put IVs in her. She just runs out of gas.
Oh, yeah, that's what they do in New Orleans. They just drive around that paddy wagon and put IVs in people, and it's like watching a blow-up doll. They go from their head down between their legs to
it is amazing what that IV will do. Yeah,
no wonder you had to break it up into two events: the family in April, and then So you be thinking about which one you can tell us when we come back from break. We're going to hold her to it.
Okay.
We're also, when we come back we're going to take a break, and when we come back, DeAnna and Steve, we're going to talk to them about buying tickets at Riverfest again. We'll remind y'all at the end of the show about the tickets and how to get them if you missed it a minute ago, about becoming a sponsor, vendor, and volunteer. I think we kind of did that. We didn't talk about volunteers, and about the economic impact of Riverfest on Little Rock and our state. You're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy on KABF Radio. My guest, DeAnna Korte, and Executive Director of Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, and past President Steve Bentley. If you've got questions or comments for my guests or me, this is your chance. You can call.
The number is 501-433-0088.
Or you can email me at
questions@upyourbusiness.org.
That's questions with an S.
That's right.
Or tweet me a question at Ask Kerry McCoy using the hashtag share.
We're getting a call. You want to take the call before we go to break?
Yeah, we'll take a call real quick. Hello, caller. You're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy, and you're on the air. Have you got a question for me or my guest?
Yeah, I had a question for your guest. How would I go about volunteering for Riverfest this year?
Well, you just go to our website, which is riverfestarkansas.com. There is a volunteer tab at the top. You click on it and you go right on in there and sign up. The shifts are available. It tells you where they're located, what areas we need help in, and we always need volunteers. So we would love for you to get out there. And, the best thing about volunteering is you get free admission to the festival. That's a $40 advance, value. A free bottle of water, and then my love and devotion forever.
What about the approval process?
We really don't go through necessarily an approval process. There is, when you sign up, there is a fee to sign up, but you get it back as soon as you finish your shift, and that's just to make sure that people don't take advantage of that great deal.
Uh-oh, I think he's getting out of his car.
All right. Thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller. So we're going to break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. I'm speaking today with DeAnna Korte, and Executive Director of Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, and past president for the past 2 years, Steve Bentley. You said you have 250 volunteers.
That's just our planning committee. Yeah. And then that's just our planning committee. They're spread out amongst about 33 committees. So we've got a food committee that takes care of the food vendors, and we've got obviously stage committees, and we've got admissions committees and riverbanks and all that. Beverage. But then it takes another 1,500 volunteers to actually work the 3-day event. And your previous caller, that's what he was referring to. So we have 5-hour shifts that we need volunteers to fill, and so you're either going to sell tickets, admission tickets, you're going to sell river money, you might affix an alcohol wristband on a patron, or my favorite volunteer position, which is slinging beer. That's a ton of fun. And we love to have corporations and organizations do it as a group. It's a really great way to get outside your normal work day and get together as a group and have some fun.
Hey, DeAnna, I think we've got another caller. Hey, caller, you're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. I'm here with DeAnna and Steve from Riverfest. Have you got a question for anybody?
Yes, I was just wondering where you find the show times for individual bands.
Okay, if you go to our website, again, riverfestarkansas.com, on the lineup page, click on that, and then just scroll down a little bit. You'll start seeing just the list of acts, and then if you scroll on down, you'll see what stage they're on and what time they're performing.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Say that again. You go where?
You go to riverfestarkansas.com. Okay. And Arkansas is all spelled out, and then go to the lineup page, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and that's where the actual times are listed. And the other thing on our website, not knowing, because obviously, age-wise, demographically, we're skewing a little bit younger. And I'm 50, so it's people go, well, I don't know who that band is. I would really encourage you to go on our website, and we link, there's a Spotify playlist to all of our artists.
Oh, good.
We've got some really phenomenal music. And I would challenge people to go out and listen to some of the bands that we've booked, because it's a really great way to open yourself up to new music and not stay in the same rut that what you're used to listening to. And you were talking about you want to tell your story?
Oh, yeah. You were talking about up-and-coming acts.
Yes.
One of my favorite bands in the world is The Cure, and they just got done touring, and their opening act, the whole tour, was Joy Formidable, who are playing this year.
That's right. They're playing on Saturday on the amphitheater stage prior to Moon Taxi, Cold War Kids, and Wiz Khalifa, and they're from England. They're wonderful. And so, again, it's funny, growing up, I was all over I never knew I would have a job like this, for sure. But I grew up, listening to Lawrence Welk, listening to Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, listening to Hee Haw because my mother was from Western Oklahoma, so country music. And so I love all genres of music, and that's probably one of the favorite parts of my job is getting to open myself up to new music, new experiences, and just learning what's out there. So it's like hip hop. I mean, that's really, classic rock was big when I was in high school. We call it classic rock now, but Foreigner and Journey and things like that. And now really hip hop is really what is. So Wiz Khalifa, we're super excited about having him on site. It's going to be fun.
What, besides the music entertainment, what else does Riverfest weekend offer?
Well, it obviously.
Well, we've got the artist.
That's right. We've got art and craft vendors. We've got a carnival on site, so people can do that. We've got the museums downtown.
For like children, a carnival for
It's
children?
more adults. We've got a few small children's rides, but it's more for adults. Just, we are all kids at heart.
carnival.
That's exactly right.
Interesting.
Don't you like to get on the rides?
No.
I do.
Hey, one thing I'd like to add, too, is that the river market, after we get through, it is on fire. It goes.
Oh, I bet.
And all the bars are full and all the hotels are full, and it's just a happening place. A couple of years ago, people were walking down the street, man, had American flags, and it was crazy.
Well, and again, bringing people into downtown Little Rock, the Clinton Library, go into the library before you get a discounted admission with your Riverfest ticket into the library. Heifer International and Heifer Village. If you haven't been down to Heifer Village, it's fantastic. So the Museum of Discovery is open. I mean, there's just lots to do, and so that's really what we're here for, is to get people into town and experiencing Little Rock and having a wonderful time.
What time does Riverfest close at night?
It closes at 11 on Friday night and Saturday night, and then on Sunday night this year it will conclude after the fireworks, approximately 9:30. And then something else I wanted to mention that's new this year that we're doing on Friday, June 2nd, we are having a Riverfest picnic, as in guitar pick. And we're doing a free lunch from 11 to 2. No admission. You can come down to Riverfest, eat lunch down there, kind of walk around, see what we've got to offer. Might catch a sound check going on.
And that's before the event starts.
That's before the event ever
That sounds
opens.
like my time to come.
It's going to be great. And if you have your ticket and you want to go ahead and exchange it for your wristband, weekend wristband, we'll exchange them that day from 11 to 2. So just to beat the crowds. We'll be giving away a limited amount of commemorative buttons. Everybody remembers the button, so we'll be giving away some of those. Oaklawn is bringing in their food truck, which is they serve silk sliders out of, so everybody coming through the gates will get a free silk slider. So it's going to be fun.
We've got lots. Slider.
It's a little mini hamburger.
But what's silk mean?
Silks is their club at Oaklawn.
Oh, you tell me I don't go to races enough. I need to learn.
Yeah, Oaklawn it's fantastic.
The food's always good.
It is.
Rubens.
So lots to do. So we want everybody downtown. If you don't, the rides will be up and going, so you can go down and ride the ride. So again, offering another opportunity for people that might not want to come down in the evening to hear the bands play.
What time's it open?
That's from 11 to 2, and then we open gates back up at 5. And then at 5, that's paid admission. You come in. Saturday, we open at 1 and go to 11. Sunday, we're open at 1 and we go to 11.
And all of that's on the website.
It's all on the website.
You have a fan base that's just incredible. You don't really even hardly have to advertise anymore. I think people just look forward to Riverfest and make their hotel reservations a year in advance.
Well, we hope so. That's the plan. We've got, I think, close to 65,000 Facebook followers. Everything's about social media these days, so that's a really great database. And but yeah, we've been very fortunate. Partners like KABF over the years, that's why, again, we are sustaining, is because of the support of the community.
So leading into that, what is the money that you think comes in? Have they ever figured out how much revenue comes to the hotels and the bars and all of that Riverfest brings in economically to Little Rock?
Economically, the International Festival and Events Association, which is kind of a governing body for events around the world, they have estimated that our economic impact is close to $33 million. And
what?
Isn't that nuts? And you
for
think
3 days?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? But you think, the bars, the restaurants, people driving in from around the state, gas.
Buying gas, yeah.
You start adding all of that up. And I will tell you, Chris King, again, that owns Stickies, he told our board that last year, they've been open 16 years.
Okay.
And last year, during Riverfest weekend, was their best weekend ever.
Really?
And all the hotels are at capacity as well in downtown.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get a I don't think you can get a room if you want to.
Last year, we had to actually put some of our bands out in West Little Rock, which is the first time we've had to do that because all of the hotels in the downtown and North Little Rock downtown areas were booked.
I have a friend who lives in Pine Bluff her and her husband every year get a hotel, spend all
fantastic
weekend.
We love to hear that.
So way to go.
We love to hear it.
Every year for years and years and years. And they're old. They're older people.
Yeah. Well, I think you definitely have your festival
no one's old
groupies.
anymore. Now, come on.
Right? That is true. I mean, they're not like kids. You know, they've got grown children, and they're still coming to Riverfest
That's fantastic.
all the time.
We love that. That's what it's about.
Do you think that having everybody come into Little Rock that weekend hurts any outlying communities?
There's not a competing event going
no,
on.
I would.
Is that why you changed it from Memorial Weekend?
We moved it off Memorial Day. This has been a topic of discussion for many years. Is get it off Memorial Day. And basically listening to our sponsors and to people, when you live in a state like Arkansas that you can be at a lake within about 45 minutes, people were like, well, we want to come, but we've got a house at the lake. It's the first weekend of summer. That's what we want to do. So first long weekend. And so we talked about it 2 years ago and just decided, you know what? Let's make the change. We're changing the event. Let's change the date as well and moving it to the first weekend. And then honestly,
Sticky said they had the best year they've ever had. So
isn't that
like
crazy?
A good move.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it was a passionate discussion, and there was a lot of people that wanted to keep it. But
people don't like change.
No, they do not. But you know what, Kerry? You have to change to stay relevant.
No
and
kidding.
That's where we are. And so, absolutely.
That's why you've been good at your job.
Well, thank you.
So what can vendors expect if they want to participate at Riverfest?
Well, our vendor process, I think we might have a couple of just merchant spots available so they can call the office. The number there is 501-255-FEST or 3378 and ask for Julie Schindler. And if she can tell you if she's got some spots left. Sponsorship.
You can always make a vendor spot.
Absolutely. And we can always
money.
accept more sponsorship
That's
money.
right.
So if, we appreciate the sport, and our sponsors are wide. We have folks that obviously sponsor us because they understand the importance of Riverfest to the community. And
I think that's probably the biggest thing.
It is. We've been very fortunate. And then, obviously you have sponsors that they want that marketing. They want those banners, which is good for you. They want those banners flying high. So we've got a little bit of everything. And so we've got sponsorships starting as low as $100, if somebody wants to donate.
And I bet your sponsors have been doing it for 40 years.
We have several that have been, as we've been going over past memorabilia and things like that, Worthen Bank, of course the name's changing now, right. Bank of America, they've been involved from the beginning. It's fun to look back and see.
We barely have enough time to play another song from an entertainment that's going to be at Riverfest. So let's take a break, and then we come back. I forgot to get DeAnna to tell us the most shocking story. We're going to make her do that. We're going to remind everybody the tickets. We're going to talk about parking and how to get there. I think there's shuttles we can use.
Yes.
And maybe we'll get a preview of what to expect next year, because you're probably already thinking about it.
Oh, yeah. Always thinking.
You're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy on KABF Radio. My guest, DeAnna Korte, Executive Director of Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, and past President Steve Bentley. If you've got questions or comments from my guests or me, this is your chance. You can call.
The number is 501-433-0088.
Or you can email us at
questions@upyourbusiness.org.
And I'm tweeting at Ask Kerry McCoy using the hashtag #ShareWisdom if you want to share. Hey, you're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. I'm speaking today with DeAnna Korte, Executive Director of Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, and past president for the last 2 years, Steve Bentley. So parking's an issue.
It is.
Some suggestions.
It is. Well, now there are parking decks downtown, so we want to promote that for the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Do they not fill up?
They do. But usually if you get down there, especially a little bit earlier, so you've got the parking deck at 2nd and Main, the parking deck, the River Market parking deck. The Central Arkansas Library has a new deck that will be available till it fills up. There are some surface lots, but we would encourage you to take our shuttles. Now, there is a big change with the shuttles this year. In the past, the shuttles have run from War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock and from Lakewood Middle School in North Little Rock. We have decided to combine the shuttles into one stop to make it more convenient, and as far as getting to the festival, because when you're in those outlying, War Memorial doesn't seem far to downtown until you get in Riverfest traffic, and then it's taking 25 minutes to get, or 30 minutes to get a bus downtown. So the folks at Verizon Corporate and Colliers International have made the parking lot available down at Riverdale on number 1 Allied Drive, and so everybody can come there.
Now, where? It's Verizon?
The Verizon corporate
office, not the one over on the freeway.
Not on the freeway.
Okay.
This is
right
down in Riverdale. So you just come down Cantrell Hill, park there. We can get you, because we have part of Cantrell and La Harpe closed. We'll get you there in less than 5 minutes and drop you right at the gate.
Smarter.
So we think it's going to work well, and it'll just be a constant loop. And but again, you've got secured parking. You get to be dropped at the gate
and picked
right back up. And we run those shuttles until the last car leaves the parking lot. I mean, my guy that coordinates it is Larry Lawson's fantastic. He makes sure he'll send his personal car back down if he thinks there's someone that missed the last bus.
And another option as well from North Little Rock side, you can park over there and walk over the Junction Bridge, and then we have tickets as soon as you get off the bridge as well. So
which bridge is the Junction Bridge?
Well, it's the walking bridge
over by the Clinton Library.
Yes.
There was actually, you can use that one. The Clinton Library Bridge is the one east of Interstate 30, and then the Junction Bridge is west of Interstate 30 before you hit the Main Street Bridge. You can also Rock Region Metro will also have trolleys running back and forth across the Main Street Bridge, so you can hop on in North Little Rock.
Where would you park over there?
There's quite a bit of parking in North Little Rock. There's surface parking, U.S. Bank. There's parking on the North Shore Riverwalk.
You just say get on the trolley.
Yeah, you hop on the trolley and it'll bring you right over. It's free.
Yeah.
It's absolutely free.
And do they run very often?
They run constantly until, I believe they run till 11 o'clock each night. Now on Sunday night, they'll shut down at 8:30 in anticipation of the fireworks shooting off at 9.
Because they can't go on the bridge.
That's exactly right. But they drop right at the Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce building, and you're right there at the main gate.
So don't use them
Sunday you can
night.
use them up until 8:30, but you're going to have to walk back across on Sunday night, because they won't start running them again after the fact.
Yeah, they need to know all that.
Yes.
So if people want to find out, so tell us about the tickets one more time, and then tell us where we can get all of the acts and the times and shows one more time.
All right, tickets are on sale now on our website, which is riverfestarkansas.com. You go to the ticket tab and you can purchase them directly there. Bring your ticket or your phone, and we could scan it at the gate. We have a lot of questions. I don't have a printer. You don't have to have a printer. You can bring the ticket or your phone and we will scan it. Or if you don't like to do online transactions, you can go to Murphy USA or Murphy Express. Again, there is a list on that ticket page of what stores carry the tickets, and you can purchase them there. But folks, if you wait, and again, kids 10 and under are free, because there are people that bring their kids to the festival. 10 and under is free, but if you wait to get them at the gate, it's going to be $55. So now's the time to get them.
You said 40 earlier.
40 in advance, 55 at the gate.
I misunderstood.
Yeah,
that.
so don't wait. And then again, for all the information, we've got the Oaklawn National Bago Tournament going on Saturday. We've got the PK Grill Steak Cook-Off on Sunday. We have lots of things other than just the music. Patron is going to have a lounge where you can come.
Better get the security.
Yeah. So you can, they're going to be doing some fun things with that. We've got Stella Rosa Wine will be doing some sampling. Like I said, we've got Murphy USA will have an on-site exhibit.
It's just incredibly cheap, $55.
Yeah,
and then
it is.
You get in there, and I guess you have to use River Market money.
Use River Money, our festival currency, Arvest River Money. You sure do. And you go buy that, go buy food, great food vendors, great food to eat. And again, just lots of fun and kicking
So tell
back.
us a shocking story that's happened. I've let you off the hook.
Well, I can't really say shocking. This one's not shocking, but it's kind of humorous. The shocking ones I have to tell off the air. But the year that the infamous CeeLo issue where he was not on stage, and this is going on for about 25 minutes, I get summoned over to the stage. Well, I was looking for my booking agent to decide what we were going to do. And as I came up on the back of the stage, there's equipment everywhere, but I kind of glance over and I see CeeLo sitting in And if you've ever been to Riverfest and volunteered, we have these hideous plastic orange chairs that have the metal rails on the side so they'll hook together. They're kind of a joke and a legend in themselves. And he's sitting in one with two women in cat suits sitting on his lap. And I look and thinking, seriously, you've got hordes of people out here waiting for you to perform. He's sitting there. Of course, I'm livid. We're over here talking. And so finally, they're basically, we're not going to pay you if you do not get up there and perform. We're going to cancel your check. And he gets ready to stand up, and he had on an outfit that literally looked like silk pajamas with big wide legs. And when he stood up, he catches his bottoms on the rail of that chair, and they just ripped. And I was like, karma is a you-know-what. It was pretty funny. So it was pretty humorous.
Did he go on with...
He went on. The girls did not go on with him, but the story since then, when I tell the story turns into he had two cats sitting on his lap. These were not cats, because he is known for his cat. These were actually girls in cat suits. But yeah, he went up there and performed. We timed it for about 20 minutes and then walked off the stage.
There are so many jokes in there that I'm
There are.
tongue.
Yes, I'm telling you, it was pretty funny. But
my children, if they're listening, are cringing, thinking, "Mom, don't say it."
Yeah. We've had some fun. There's been a lot of things over the years, and we have fun.
He didn't play enough songs.
He didn't. No, he played 20 minutes and decided that he had enough, which is really sad. And I'll tell you too, you normally see people wait for an encore, and that crowd, the minute he stepped off, they knew. I mean, they just literally turned around and walked off. I mean, they didn't scream, yell, or anything. It's sad though. Sad.
One comment I like to make too about Riverfest we haven't talked about is the fantastic music we've had in the past.
Yes.
And I wrote this some of my, Black Crowes. We saw them play maybe one of their last concerts together. They're fantastic. And Peter Frampton a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
And ZZ Top, biggest crowd ever when we were in North Little Rock. And War is my favorite of all time.
Yes,
they were great, and and of course in Drive By Truckers, I love that. I can't believe you don't know Drive By Truckers.
I don't.
They are they're kind of like the new Leonard Skinner is a good way to, but they're great.
Or Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh yeah,
you're familiar with Allman
Greg.
Brothers. Yes, yeah, it's. Yeah, we really do. It's if you go look, we've on our website we have past performers listed under the entertainment tab, and it really is phenomenal. And Carrie Underwood, a lot of people don't know that Carrie Underwood's dad begged her to play. She was 16, 17, living in Oklahoma, and wanted her to come over and sing, play. And we said, well, we'll let her sing the national anthem. So she sang the national anthem, played for about 30 minutes prior to Kenny Chesney. And a year later, I'm at home, my son's in the bedroom, got the TV on, and I hear, walking down the hall, American Idol's on, and I hear them say this name, and I said, what did they just say, and what did she look like? Oh, Carrie Underwood. And I thought to myself, oh boy. And look at where she is today.
What a great story.
Yeah, isn't that neat? Yeah.
That's very, very neat. $55 to be part of history.
That's exactly right.
Come down to Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, June.
It's June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and we encourage people to join us for the kickoff party on June 1st, which is our Flowing on the River wine and craft beer tasting event. Separate ticket, but you can get those online as well.
I am going to come down this year. I'm so motivated. Listen, I've got here's your cigar.
Thank you.
Y'all can smoke when Riverfest is over.
Awesome.
It's for birthing another business, which is like a business, or another festival.
Thank you.
For all the careers you're boosting and birthing. Think how many people's careers that you're setting on fire.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And that came from the Humidor Room at Colonial Wine and Spirits.
Awesome.
Who's our guest next?
Next week is going to be Skip Rutherford, the curator of the Clinton Public Library.
Oh, he'll be interesting. He's got a long, long bio. That guy's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and the Clinton Library has been a big partner of Riverfest.
They really have.
Yeah.
If you've got a boat, you can go down there and kind of.
And I'm telling you, that's a lot of my friends. They pop right up there on the bank and listen to
right
the music.
Outside. I've done that before. It's nice.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's very nice. Also, if you've got a great entrepreneurial story you would like to share, I'd love to hear from you. Send a brief bio and your contact info to questions@upyourbusiness.org, and someone will be in touch. And finally, to our listeners, thank you for spending time with me. If you think this program's been about you, you're right. but it's also been for me. Thank you for letting me fulfill my destiny. My hope today is that you've heard or learned something that's been inspiring or enlightening, and that it, whatever it is, will help you up your business, your independence, or your life. I'm Kerry McCoy, and I'll see you next Friday at 2 p.m. on KABF Radio in Little Rock, Arkansas. Until then, be brave and keep it up.
You've been listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy, a production of flagandbanner.com. If you miss any part of the show or want to learn more about UIYB, go to flagandbanner.com and click on Radio Show, or subscribe to her weekly podcast wherever you like to listen. All interviews are recorded and posted the following week with links to resources you heard discussed on today's show. And Kerry's goal is to help you live the American dream.